Yeah, I'm handing over notes, stated all of that. Yes, please. Indeed, I was even at the site with the new CEO when we handed over. We have, we took pictures. It was a very, should I say, it wasn't acrimonious. I just said, boss, make sure that this man continues the way, finishes up and everything. We're not fighting or anything. And I told him that, look, I see these vegetables of my baby, so treat them well. Because it's a way to generate funds as well for your, your institution. So everything was there. Coverings, structures, everything. Everything was there.
But as at the time, you only installed greenhouse units and not a building.
No. Okay. That's why I said to you that I don't even want to speak to the building.
Okay.
And that, if the new government comes in and adds on, it is fantastic. That's how we should progress as a country. And not always try to take ourselves back. We will not grow if we continue doing that. Do you understand? So a building there is fantastic because our time, the youth had to come from the Pampam Township to the site. We organize vehicles to bring them, etc. So a building there is good. But let's also acknowledge how the greenhouses, started. Indeed, as they're saying, these are not the first greenhouses in Ghana. But indeed, this is the first of such an enclave with that number. So, in a way, it's an achievement. So we can only build on that. We shouldn't tear it down. That is very unfortunate. That hurts me a lot. It hurts me to my core.
So what hurts you is the fact that they are appropriating the project sort of without even saying that this started at this time.
What hurts me is trying to negate that anything had even been done at all. You see? And that is not right. That's what I'm saying. What are we teaching our people? What are we teaching our young people? So I built something. You build on it. Isn't that the way to go? Should we come and say, oh, I can see this building, but it's not yours? It's not right. We are Christians. Well, majority of us are Christians. Some are Muslims. We all, pray to a higher power. So we need to be truthful to ourselves. Unless maybe what I'm saying doesn't make sense. So add on it. But don't take away from the person who's also put something there and actually try and hail insults and stuff. I don't do that kind of politics. I deal with facts. So like I said, go to Dowenya and count the units. If it's 150, hooray! But if it's 75, then you know where this started from. And like I said, I'm not even claiming all the glory. It's an achievement for our country. It's not about CEO of years or whatever. It's an achievement for our country. Are we eating all the vegetables there? It's being sold to Ghanaians. Perhaps some are even taking it away to export. Oh, well and good. That's how we should go on as a country that is seeking to develop and do big things.
I do understand your nationalistic approach, but don't forget that whenever institutions are established, for example, when they changed the name from YES to NEIP, they were saying that they were redirecting focus, so which means there was funding going to the program. So if the biggest project of the NEIP is one which you started and paid for, then there are questions to be asked. So that's why we want some clarity on what is happening. And I'm happy to answer your question. But like I said, we also need to look at this, in a bigger way. You see, because right now we are trying to cancel and say, oh, these things were not even done by John Dramani Mahama while I was CEO. That's what I'm saying. That's what hurts me, because we've done something. You see, so give a little credit to what has been done, or big credit, as you say, and then let's build up upon it. Because yes, this is big. And when we're doing it, we had some people come tell us that, look, this is going to be the biggest in Sub-Saharan Africa in terms of an enclave together. The idea was a greenhouse village. I was modeling it after the kibbutz-style farming in Israel, where people live on the farms. They live there, they commune there, everything. That was the rationale behind when we started. A greenhouse village where people lived on the farm. Yes. Okay, they live there, they work there, their whole livelihood is there. So it's like a little township. That was a big idea going forward. No, so you're going to add homes or hostels sort of for those who are working on the field?
We would have. Yes, please, because we couldn't keep, letting them stay in another house, commuting every day. And when you're a farmer, you want to stay close to your produce. You don't want to come back in the morning and some units, some plants have been uprooted.
If you were, let's say, if you had been in office for, let's say, a year longer, would it have still been 75 units, or you intended to add more?
Oh no, it would have been more, but it wouldn't have been at Owenya, because the land that we got, like I said, it was exactly for that number. So we wanted to also put units in other parts of the country, so that youth don't have to always come to the Greater Accra region, or Accra for that matter, to come looking for jobs. Do you see? So if you had some in the, the northern sector, upper east, upper west, northern, middle belt, etc., there's work for the people who live there.
So, okay, so there was a bigger plan, but what would you say if your successor said that, well, they actually paid for the projects?
He's a Christian, so he will answer to God. That's all I'll say on that. Because I believe he's a Christian. And so if he says that, and he can have a straight face and say that, then you can only answer to God.
So as far as you're concerned...
That is not true. And he and I both know it. So I don't even want us to go into that kind of quagmire. He knows the truth. I know the truth. We have photos. He stood there with me when I was handing over. So what is he talking about?
And I get a sense that that interaction gave you the impression that at least there was going to be some continuation, and the work that was started acknowledged. There was going to be some acknowledgement. There was going to be some camaraderie when it comes to what was done and what was being done. From what you're hearing now, are you surprised at the turn of events, all of? Oh,
I've learned something in this world, that nothing should surprise anybody. Because we're human beings, and sometimes we can do some things that you ask yourself, did I really do that? So I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I'm disappointed. Because I thought we had a good rapport going forward. So, hey, I mean... And why are we even, my issue is, why are we even talking about this? Why are we even talking about this? These are greenhouses that have been built. They have a 15-year lifespan. People can be trained. We can grow. We can make money. Why are we doing this to ourselves? You see, but now I'm being nationalistic. It's sad. It's sad. What happens to say, when we came, it had been procured, we supervised the continuous installation. Who will die? Who will die? It's Ghana not for all of us.
You see, I keep asking these questions because of some of the things I've had to deal with since this government came to power. And some of the things we have had to talk about.
Yeah.
Because at this point in time, it is even quite shocking that, because once you pay for a project, you have basically completed it.
Yeah.
You have
paid
done
and
it.
Delivered. It's not like we had paid and it was on the high seas coming. It was delivered on the site. We were installing. Up until the time I left office, because I was on a contract. So it was actually supposed to end in 2018. But, hey. So we eventually had to leave in 2017. Fine. But it was paid for, delivered. All the units were there. The fans, the trolleys, all the components, the fertigation equipment, everything was there. For 74 units and one nursery. And you see, they keep saying 75, 75. It is actually 74 greenhouse units and one nursery. If we didn't build it, how would I know all this information?
Thank you very much for giving us those details. Very, very important for the discussion going forward.
Yeah,
but congratulations on even that particular initiative. That was a good one. You said you started selling vegetables before you even left.
It's for God and country, I beg. It's not me.
Oh, no, but like they said, leadership is everything. Leadership is cause. Everything else is effects. So leadership must be acknowledged in this kind of situation. So, but you said you started selling vegetables then?
Oh, yes. We're selling to farmers market, and even some of the women were coming to our gate.
Hey.
They were coming, yeah. When anytime we harvested, because we're growing according to a production schedule from the main person who was buying from us. So we're going according to his production schedule. So when it was time to harvest, his van will be there. And the market women also came and said, hey, how can you not sell to us? You know, we are all blah, blah. So we started selling to them too. And I love them because I didn't even have to worry about, you know, transportation costs. So they got it at very good prices. I mean, we were making, you know, generating funds. They were also getting produce to sell. And indeed, one of the main aims was to reduce the number of, you know, the amount of vegetables that was being imported into our country from the neighboring, you know, states, when we could do it ourselves. You see, because in our cuisine, every day we cook with tomatoes. So for me, tomato was my key thing. Where indeed, if we had finished, we'd have grown about. Where we used about 50 of the units to grow just tomatoes, and then the rest would have been the capsicums and the cucumbers, and then later on would have gone to strawberries and passion fruits and, you know, other exotic vegetables. Some woman had even approached us if we could grow flowers for her, because that's what was being done in Kenya. You know, you can grow black roses, blue roses, anything. You can literally grow anything in a greenhouse. I mean, of course, up to the height. You can grow anything in a greenhouse.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you.
Madam Helga Bwede is a